Welcome to Old Coins News. Today, we bring you historic quarter-dollar coins of the United States of America, featuring the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum. These coins are not just currency, they are symbols of America's history, unity, and strength. In today's video, we will explore the 1979D, 1984D, 1989P, and 1993P quarter dollars. So make sure to watch till the end, because each coin tells its own unique story. The United States of America quarter dollar dated 1979 with a D mint mark is an important piece of late 20th century American coinage, representing continuity, national identity, and everyday life in the United States during a time of social, economic, and political change. This coin belongs to the famous Washington Quarter Series, a design that had already been in circulation for nearly 5 decades by 1979. The series was originally introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first president of the United States and a central figure in the American struggle for independence. By the time the 1979 D quarter was struck, the Washington Quarter had become one of the most familiar coins in American pockets, purses, and cash registers, serving both as a medium of exchange and a miniature symbol of the nation's ideals. The obverse front side of the 1979 D quarter features a dignified left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. Washington's image reflects calm strength, leadership, and moral authority, qualities that Americans have long associated with their first president. Above his head is the word liberty, a foundational concept of the United States that represents personal freedom, independence, and democratic governance. To the left of Washington's portrait appears the national motto, In God We Trust, a phrase that expresses the historical and spiritual values embedded in American society. Below the portrait is the date 1979, marking the year of issue, while to the right of Washington's hair ribbon is a D mint mark, identifying the coin as having been struck at the Denver Mint, one of the major U.S. mint facilities responsible for producing large quantities of circulating coinage. The Denver Mint has played a vital role in supplying coins for everyday commerce, and its mint mark is a familiar sight to collectors and the public alike. The reverse back side of the 1979 D quarter carries the classic and powerful image of the bald eagle, the national bird and enduring symbol of the United States. The eagle is shown with its wings spread wide, conveying strength, vigilance, and readiness to defend the nation. In its talons, the eagle grasps a bundle of arrows, symbolizing military strength and the ability to protect freedom, while an olive branch represents peace and diplomacy, highlighting the nation's desire for harmony when possible. Above the eagle is a Latin inscription, E Pluribus Unum, meaning out of many, one. This motto reflects the unification of individual states into a single nation and the blending of diverse peoples into one American identity. Encircling the design are the words United States of America and quarter dollar, clearly identifying the issuing country and the denomination. This reverse design had been used for decades and would remain in use until the introduction of the state quarters program in 1999, making the 1979 D issue part of the final generation of the traditional eagle-back Washington quarters. From a technical perspective, the 1979 D Washington quarter is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This composition was adopted in 1965, when the U.S. Mint removed silver from circulating quarters due to rising silver prices and increasing production costs. As a result, the 1979 D quarter contains no silver and was intended purely for circulation rather than bullion value. The coin has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge, which serves both functional and security purposes. These specifications ensured that the quarter would be durable enough to withstand heavy circulation while remaining compatible with vending machines and other coin-operated devices widely used during that era. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced a very large number of quarters in 1979, making the 1979 D quarter a common coin in circulated condition. Millions of Americans use this coin daily for transportation, food, laundry, parking meters, and countless small transactions that form the rhythm of everyday life. Because of its high mintage, Most circulated examples are worth face value, but the coin still holds interest for collectors, particularly when found in uncirculated or high-grade mint state condition. Coins graded MS65 or higher can carry a modest premium due to their sharp details, bright original luster, and minimal surface marks. Additionally, collectors often search for mint errors, such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, weak strikes, or die cracks, which can significantly increase a coin's value depending on rarity and visual appeal. The year 1979 itself is historically significant, both in the United States and globally. It was a time marked by economic challenges such as inflation and energy concerns, as well as major international events that shaped the modern world. Coins like the 1979 D quarter quietly circulated during this period, passing through millions of hands while history unfolded around them. In this way, the coin serves as a small historical artifact, connecting modern collectors to the lived experiences of people from that era. Every worn edge and faded detail tells a silent story of use, movement, and everyday transactions. For collectors, educators, and enthusiasts, the 1979 D United States quarter dollar represents more than just a piece of change. It is a symbol of continuity in American coinage, preserving a classic design that honored the nation's first president while serving the practical needs of commerce. Though it is not rare or made of precious metal, its value lies in its historical presence, national symbolism, and cultural significance. Whether displayed in a collection, discussed in a long-form educational video, or featured on a channel like Old Coins News, the 1979 D Washington quarter stands as a reminder that even the most common coins carry deep meaning, reflecting the ideals of liberty, unity, faith, and strength that define the United States of America. The United States of America quarter dollar dated 1989 with a P mint mark is a powerful symbol of American history, unity, and democratic values. This coin belongs to the long-running Washington Quarter series, which was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birth anniversary of George Washington, the first president of the United States. By 1989, the Washington Quarter had already become one of the most recognized and widely circulated coins in American daily life. The obverse of the coin proudly displays a left-facing portrait of George Washington, sculpted with dignity and strength, reflecting leadership, sacrifice, and the foundations of the American nation. Above Washington's head appears the word liberty, representing freedom of thought, expression, and governance. To the left of his portrait is the national motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that reflects the spiritual heritage and moral beliefs of the United States. Beneath Washington's portrait is the date 1989, clearly marking the year of issue, while just to the right appears a P mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, a historic institution that has produced American coinage since the 18th century. The reverse side of the 1989 P quarter is equally rich in symbolism and meaning. At the center stands a bold eagle, the national bird of the United States, shown with its wings spread wide in a powerful and protective stance. The eagle clutches a bundle of arrows in its talons, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation, while an olive branch represents peace and the desire for harmony with other nations. Above the eagle is a Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, a motto that perfectly captures the essence of the United States as a union of many states, cultures, and people forming a single nation. Encircling the design are the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar, clearly identifying the issuing country and the coin's denomination. This reverse design was used for decades and became deeply ingrained in the visual identity of American currency before being replaced by the state quarters program in 1999. From a technical and material standpoint, the 1989 P Washington quarter is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition was introduced in 1965 to replace the earlier 90% silver quarters, making the 1989 issue a non-silver coin intended for everyday circulation. The coin has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge, which helps prevent counterfeiting in wear. These specifications ensure durability, allowing the coin to survive decades of use in commerce while still retaining much of its original design detail when well preserved. In terms of mintage, The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1989, making the 1989p quarter a common circulation coin rather than a rarity. Because of this high mintage, most examples found today are valued primarily for their face value of 25 cents unless they are in exceptionally high mint state condition. However, collectors still show interest in this coin, especially when it is found in uncirculated condition, MS65 or higher, where sharp details, strong luster, and minimal marks can increase its desirability. Some collectors also search for minting errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, weak strikes, or die cracks, which can significantly raise the value depending on rarity and condition. Historically, the year 1989 holds significance beyond numismatics, as it was a period of major global change, including the end of the Cold War era and the fall of the Berlin Wall. Coins minted during this time quietly circulated through American hands while the world was transforming, making the 1989p quarter a silent witness to history. For many Americans, this coin represents everyday life, used in vending machines, parking meters, laundromats, and shops, yet it also carries deep national symbolism embedded in its design and inscriptions. For collectors, educators, and coin enthusiasts, the 1989p Washington quarter dollar serves as an excellent example of late 20th century U.S. coinage. It reflects a balance between artistic tradition and mass production, national pride, and daily utility. While it may not be rare or made of precious metal, its true value lies in its historical continuity, its role in commerce, and its connection to the identity of the United States. Whether kept in a personal collection, featured in an educational presentation, or discussed on a channel like Old Coins News, this quarter tells a story of unity, strength, faith, and freedom, captured in metal and passed from hand to hand across generations. The United States of America quarter dollar dated 1993 with a P mint mark represents a mature phase of modern American coinage, reflecting stability, tradition, and continuity in the nation's monetary system. This coin belongs to the long-running and highly respected Washington Quarter Series, a design that had already been part of American life for more than 60 years by the early 1990s. First introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the Washington Quarter quickly became a permanent fixture of U.S. coinage. By 1993, the design was deeply embedded in American culture, instantly recognizable to people of all ages and backgrounds. The 1993p quarter circulated widely during a time of technological growth and social change, quietly serving its role as a dependable medium of exchange while also carrying powerful national symbolism in its design and inscriptions. The obverse side of the 1993p quarter features the classic left-facing portrait of George Washington, created by sculptor John Flanagan. Washington's image is dignified and thoughtful, representing leadership, responsibility, and the ideals upon which the United States was founded. Above his head appears the word liberty, a core principle of the American identity that signifies freedom, independence, and the rights of the individual. To the left of the portrait is a national motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that has appeared on U.S. coinage for generations and reflects the historical and moral traditions of the nation. Below Washington's portrait is the date 1993, marking the year of issue, while to the right is a P mint mark indicating that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. By the early 1990s, the Philadelphia Mint had become a leading producer of circulating coinage, and the presence of the P mint mark helps collectors identify the coin's origin and place it within the broader context of U.S. mint production. The reverse side of the 1993p Washington Quarter showcases the iconic image of the bald eagle, a symbol that has represented the strength and independence of the United States since the nation's earliest days. The eagle is shown with its wings fully spread, conveying power, protection, and vigilance. In its talons, the eagle holds a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and the ability to defend the nation, alongside an olive branch, representing peace and diplomacy. This balanced imagery reflects the dual nature of American ideals, strength when necessary and peace whenever possible. Above the eagle is a Latin inscription E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This phrase expresses the unification of diverse states and peoples into a single nation. Surrounding the central design are the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar, clearly identifying the issuing authority and the coin's denomination. This traditional eagle reverse would soon become part of history, as it was replaced in 1999 by the state quarter program, making coins like the 1993p quarter part of the final era of the classic Washington quarter design. From a technical and material standpoint, the 1993p quarter is struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition was adopted in 1965, when the U.S. Mint removed silver from circulating quarters to reduce costs and ensure adequate supply. As a result, the 1993p quarter contains no silver and was produced strictly for everyday use in commerce. The coin has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge, features that have remained consistent across modern Washington quarters. These specifications ensure durability and compatibility with vending machines and automated payment systems that became increasingly common during the early 1990s. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1993, making the 1993p quarter a very common coin in circulated condition. Millions of these coins entered daily circulation, being used for transportation fares, retail purchases, parking meters, and countless small transactions that form the backbone of everyday economic activity. Because of this high mintage, most circulated examples are valued at face value, but the coin still holds interest for collectors, particularly those assembling date and mint mark sets of Washington quarters. Coins preserved in uncirculated or high mint state condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher, can carry a modest premium due to their clean surfaces, strong luster, and sharp details. Additionally, collectors often look for mint errors, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet flaws, which can significantly increase the coin's desirability and value. The year 1993 itself occupies an important place in modern American history. It was a period marked by economic recovery, political change, and rapid advances in technology and communication. Coins like the 1993p quarter circulated quietly during this transformative era, passing through millions of hands while the world moved steadily toward the digital age. In this sense, the coin serves as a tangible link to the past, reminding us of a time when physical currency played an even more central role in daily life. Each worn example reflects years of use, while each well-preserved coin captures a moment frozen in metal, unchanged by time. For collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts, the 1993p United States quarter dollar is more than just a common piece of change. It represents the endurance of a classic design, the practical needs of a modern economy, and the values that the United States has chosen to display on its coinage for generations. Though it lacks precious metal content and is not rare, its true significance lies in its symbolism, historical context, and role in everyday American life. Whether featured in a long-form educational presentation, preserved in a personal collection, or discussed on a channel like Old Coins News, the 1993p Washington quarter stands as a quiet but powerful reminder of the ideals of liberty, unity, faith, and national strength embodied in the coinage of the United States of America. The United States of America quarter dollar dated 1984 with a D mint mark is a representative example of modern American circulating coinage, reflecting both tradition and everyday practicality. This coin belongs to the famous Washington Quarter series, one of the longest-running designs in U.S. history. The Washington Quarter was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the nation's first president and a foundational figure in American history. By the year 1984, the design had already been in continuous use for more than half a century, making it deeply familiar to generations of Americans. The 1984 D quarter circulated during a decade marked by economic growth, cultural change, and technological development, and it quietly played its role in daily transactions while carrying powerful national symbols on its surface. The obverse front side of the 1984 D quarter features the classic left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. Washington's image is dignified and composed, symbolizing leadership, integrity, and sacrifice. Above his head appears the word liberty, a core principle of the United States that represents freedom, independence, and democratic ideals. To the left of Washington's portrait is the national motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that has appeared on U.S. coinage for generations and reflects the historical and spiritual values of the American people. Beneath the portrait is the date 1984, clearly identifying the year of issue, while to the right of Washington's hair ribbon is a D mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has long been one of the primary producers of circulating coins, and its output in the 1980s was especially high to meet the demands of a growing economy. The reverse back side of the 1984 D Washington quarter displays the iconic bald eagle with its wings spread wide, a powerful national symbol of strength, independence, and vigilance. The eagle holds a bundle of arrows in its talons, representing the nation's readiness to defend its freedom, while an olive branch symbolizes peace and the desire for diplomacy. This balanced imagery reflects a guiding philosophy of the United States, strength combined with a commitment to peace. Above the eagle is a Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This phrase emphasizes the unity of the American states and the idea that a diverse population can come together as a single nation. Surrounding the central design are the inscriptions United States of America and $2, clearly identifying the issuing authority and the denomination. This traditional eagle reverse design remained in use until 1999, making the 1984 D quarter part of the classic era of Washington quarters before the introduction of the state quarters program. From a technical standpoint, the 1984 D quarter is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core pure copper. This composition was adopted in 1965, when the U.S. Mint removed silver from circulating quarters to control costs and ensure sufficient coin supply. As a result, the 1984 D quarter contains no silver and was intended solely for everyday circulation. The coin has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge, features that help prevent counterfeiting and provide durability during long periods of use. These consistent specifications allowed the quarter to function smoothly in vending machines, parking meters, and other coin-operated devices common during the 1980s. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced a very large number of quarters in 1984, making the 1984 D quarter a common coin in circulated condition. Millions of these coins entered daily use, passing through countless hands in supermarkets, gas stations, public transportation systems, and small businesses across the country. Because of this high production, most circulated examples are valued at face value, but the coin remains important to collectors who assemble complete date and mint mark sets of Washington quarters. Coins found in uncirculated or high mint state condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, can command a modest premium due to their bright luster, sharp strike, and minimal surface marks. Collectors also search for minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchette flaws, which can significantly increase the coin's collectible value. The year 1984 itself holds cultural and historical significance in the United States. It was a time of optimism, technological advancement, and strong national identity. Coins like the 1984 D quarter circulated quietly during this period, serving as everyday tools of commerce while witnessing the social and economic rhythms of American life. Over time, many of these coins became worn, scratched, or discolored, while others were saved in collections, rolls, or albums, preserving their original appearance and connecting the present to past. For collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts, the 1984 D United States $2 represents far more than a simple piece of change. It is a symbol of continuity in American coinage, linking the early 20th century to the modern era through consistent and recognizable design. Although it is not rare and contains no precious metal, its importance lies in its historical context, national symbolism, and role in everyday life. Whether featured in a long educational video, discussed on a channel like Old Coins News, or preserved as part of a personal collection, the 1984 D Washington quarter stands as a quiet reminder of the values of liberty, unity, faith, and strength that the United States has chosen to